Hello everyone, salam sejahtera. Welcome to IGNITX Showcases series, episode 1. My name is Sharon Wee. And a little bit about me, let me show some of the photos of mine, a TV personality and also a squash champion. I mean, I was a former elite national squash player. Let me show you the photo because seeing is believing, right? Let me show you here. That's a little bit about me. When I was playing squash professionally, represented Malaysia for 20 years, and now a TV sports personality and still a very, very sports fan. And I hope that you will stay with us, me and our special guest, Neo Tay. And when Neo, a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, actually called me and said, IGNITX, together with her co-founder, wanted to do showcases series. I'm so inspired because of the two strong objectives. Number one, inspire others to consider a career in events, to follow their dreams and to be passionate in whatever they do from the heart. That's a good one. And the second one, to inform the general public about what happens behind the scenes of event. Me, my experience as an athlete, of course, we go to tournaments, Commonwealth Games, SEA Games, Asian Games, and World Championship. We go there and play. Of course, we are the focus of the event, but we also are very thankful and grateful for those officials, the teams who are behind the scenes, who work very, very hard, and sometimes few years before the event. So this is when we're going to talk about it. It's, I should say, you would like to appreciate people behind the scene who works very hard. And one of them is our dear friend, Pride of Malaysia, Neo Tay. She has been around in sports for very long. I would like to show some photo of hers as well. She has sent me some of her photos. Let me show you. She has been around in a sports scene as an athlete as well. And then she became someone who are expert in sports accreditation and much more. So her photos are something that I think are great memories for her and for, I should say, her fans as well. This is Neo. Part of her profile, Neo is one of the 4 co-founders of IGNITX, including Ilva from Latvia, Xuan Meng from Singapore, Gustavo from Brazil. An elite badminton and bowling athlete, is one of the few Malaysians who has worked in the international scene of multi-sports events for the past 10 years, specializing in sports entries and qualification, registration and accreditation operations and sports data as well, and games management system. And she kicked off her career immediately after completing International Academy of Sports Science and Technology in 2009. Starting with the inaugural Singapore 2010 Youth Olympic Games, Neo has been part of the organizing committees of the Winter Olympic Games, Summer and Winter Youth Olympic Games, Summer Universiade, European Youth Olympic Festivals, and ANOC World Beach Games and other events in the past decade. She is also currently a consultant for the International Olympic Committee Sports Department and the Canadian Olympic Committee Sports Services Department. And it's just wow and wow and wow. So without further ado, let's welcome our superstar of the day, Pride of Malaysia, Pride of World of Sports, Neo Tay. Hi Neo, how are you?
Hi Sharon, I think you exaggerated me too much.
So, when you spoke to me about your life and all, I remembered we had about one and a half hours phone conversation. I was so curious to know what you did for the last 10 years. And here we are today, our very first series of your IGNITX Showcases. We want to know more about you, and especially Malaysian actually. It's like, Neo Tay, we want to know more about her. She has been traveling around the world, to do your great work. So first of all, we want to know, how do you get started with this interesting path?
So first of all, thanks a lot, Sharon, and really thank you for agreeing to be part of our Ignite Showcases. It's an initiative by Ignite, and please allow me to tell you guys a little bit about Ignite, not too much, just a little bit. As Sharon said, we are 4 co-founders, me, Ilva, Sean-Ming, and Gustavo, and as you can see, we are a very multicultural, multinational team. So Ignite is actually a network of international event professionals. All of us have at least the 4 founders have at least 10 years of experience in events. And what we want to try to do with Ignite is to change the sports scene. We want to make sure that we don't repeat our mistakes again. And of course, part of the vision of Ignite is to leave a legacy in whatever host country that hosts that events. We want to provide the tools. We don't want just to talk, but we want to help these events. So that's a little bit about Ignite. And coming back to your question, Sharon, how did I start? I had a very interesting start. I've always been in sports. My dad has been the main culprit of me being in sports because he is also a very big sports fan. He plays a lot of sports. So he tried to, put me in any kind of sport. So I had like taekwondo, I had badminton, I was table tennis, I was doing athletics, I was doing golf also. But eventually I chose badminton. And I actually represented Kuala Lumpur for 2 years. And then I actually got selected to be part of the special program that was under the Tunas Cemerlang program at that time. And also I went into Malacca. So they gave me a scholarship to Malacca. So it's a little bit part of my experience as an elite badminton athlete. I represented Malacca, but then unfortunately I was injured. So that injury actually caused me heartache because as an athlete, we all want to go to the Olympics, and Olympics is always what we strive for. And that was my dream. So when I got injured, unfortunately, I couldn't bounce back. I had my operation and everything, but I couldn't bounce back. But then I found bowling, and my brother and I, we both actually got into bowling. And we trained, and we qualified to participate and to represent Kuala Lumpur. And my first mission as an athlete always is to go for Sukma. So if all of you don't know what is Sukma, Sukma is the Malaysian National Games, and you get to represent your state is a big honor. So that was always my dream. But unfortunately, with my injury in badminton, I could not. So I concentrated on bowling. And bowling gave me that opportunity to represent Kuala Lumpur to these national games. I mean, I was in the top 8, I would say, in Malaysia at one point. Not as good as you, Sharon. Not as good as you. But I was okay. I met my dream, and then I was also actually part of the Sport Excel Junior Circuit. And up to 21 years old, I couldn't play circuit anymore because it was just for the youth. And so I went to the organizers. I said, Uncle Sydney, and I'm sure some of the guys in this room right now, they know who is Uncle Sydney. Sydney Tong was the former Secretary General of Malaysian 10-Pin Bowling Congress. I told him, I said, Uncle, I want to still be involved in bowling, but since I cannot participate anymore because I'm too old, even though I was only 21, I want to learn how to organize. So I started organizing, and I think that in a way gave me my motivation and turned my attention not to be as an athlete actually, and to be more of a manager, more of an administrator. So as an administrator, then I went on to do my studies. I was doing my diploma in Universiade Technology Malaysia, and then during that time, after that, I worked with the Malaysian 10-Pin Bowling Congress. So Uncle Sydney again, invited me to be the executive secretary. So that's where I learned how to be more administrative wise, more managerial, and I ran the whole Sport Excel Junior Circuit, and I really had a lot of fun doing that because it was like a two-man show, sometimes one-man show, and then I would bring my parents along and they will help me also. I would bring my friends along and they will help me also. So I really learned a lot, and a lot of the guys here also know that I love Excel, and that's where my Excel skills actually improved a lot. I played around, I was a bit innovative. So for 7 years, I actually ran the Sport Excel Junior Circuit. And for those international guys, for my friends internationally, I travel around in Malaysia for the Sport Excel Junior Circuit. The Sport Excel Junior Circuit is actually a development program for youth, which is a very good initiative for different sports in Malaysia. You have badminton, gymnastics, bowling is one of them. And actually our Malaysian bowling queen, Charlene Zulkifli, maybe she's not here, but she also went through the Sport Excel Junior Circuit, I believe. And I think you also, Sharon, right?
Yes. You're in the same program.
Exactly.
I should say that your background in sports is fantastic. I think I can see that lots of passion, a lot of honesty, a lot of hard work. And you have moved on, right, from sports. Then you become sports manager, specifically expert in sports entries and accreditation. I'm sure a lot of people wants to know why, again, from sports and athlete yourself to this path as a career. Where does it come? From the sky or from an angel or things like that?
Yeah. I mean, no angel, but like I mentioned before, I think that that pivot between athlete and manager came when I was actually in bowling. And I really thank Malaysian 10-pin Bowling Congress for giving me that opportunity. And I was actually in Malaysian 10-pin Bowling Congress when I was actually exposed a little bit more to Olympism. Many people don't know what is Olympism. You hear about Olympics, but you don't know what is Olympism. And it brought me into a different perspective. I realized I could enjoy the Olympics in a different way. And I could actually share my principles and the things that I learned from sports in a different way. So I joined the National Olympic Academy, and over there I met a friend who is South Korean, and she said, hey, I actually just graduated from the International Academy of Sports, AISTS. Why don't you look at it? So me and my friend Tanya Teo, when we were actually moderating as in a National Olympic Academy of Malaysia, I signed up for it, and luckily not many people actually can get into this program. We both, two Malaysians, we went and we got selected. So it was very expensive for us, especially Malaysia at that time, the exchange rate. And I'm very blessed to have parents who actually supported me to go, because I've always like, okay, mom and dad, I want to go overseas. Why does Ian can go and I cannot go? So I always wanted to do. And they said, no, don't worry. You can do sports in Malaysia. Like, no. So I went for my studies. I managed to go. It was my first time seeing snow. Me and Tanya, we were like Jakun. Well, for those who don't know what Jakun is, like when you see the first thing and you are like, it was snow when we were 27. I was 27, she was 25. So I had a whole year then, and I knew at that time that Singapore 2010 was organizing the first ever Youth Olympic Games. And my dream at that time, not anymore as an athlete to go to the Olympics, but to work for the Olympics, to still have the 5 rings embedded in my heart. So I applied to be an intern in the Singapore Youth Olympic Games at that, because I had to do an internship when I was studying. And unfortunately, in the beginning, they said, okay. And then suddenly they said, oh, you're a Malaysian. Oh, no, sorry. We cannot take Malaysians. We only take Singaporeans. So that was a bummer. Then I finished my studies. I came back. I looked onto the website to find some openings, some job openings, because normally for events, they normally publish it. And I saw a lot. And I wrote to them. I said, hey, you actually screwed up my internship in the first part. I applied for 2 positions. Can you please let me know if I get hired? And they said, sorry, we don't do that. We will tell you if you get it or you don't get it. If you don't get it, then we will just, be quiet. And I was like, well, on your website, you say that you are looking for passionate people and sports people. So why don't give me a chance? So they gave me a chance, and I went and I applied. I had my interview with my boss at that time, Melina, and Melina Zantopoulos is my mentor and my idol at that time, because I saw her. She's Greek, and she was my boss in Singapore, sport entries manager. She was the sport entries manager there. So that's how I got into this path, basically.
Very interesting, Lino. It's ups and downs. I guess you need good people, support system around you to achieve a dream or push you to do something big that sometimes you don't realize. And I think for Malaysians, we can learn a lot from you, because the path of career in sports, not necessarily as an athlete, but sports manager, sports doctor, physiotherapy, just like yourself, someone that we really tabik means we respect. You are behind the scene, but you make sure that everything goes well in big games. And we are so proud, Linio, you are supporting the committee for Winter Olympics, Youth Olympics, and many other big games. So again, on behalf of Malaysian, we are proud of you, and thank you very much, Linio.
Oof, I think I'm very proud of you also, Sharon.
So we want to know, me, myself, we had a long phone call. I was so curious, what is exactly sports entries and accreditation? Can you explain in short, a little bit deeper, but to all of us, whether international viewers or Malaysians right now watching us?
Yeah. Yes, I think sport entries, and I know I have some people here who have been in my team in Buenos Aires, and we all worked in the sport entries. And people always say, what actually are you doing in the organizing committee? Why you have to join it so early? So sport entries is a very niche area. It's a small area in the organizing committee that nobody really knows. When people say, oh, you are doing entries, so you fill up forms, is it? Or you fill up, you put in the data for people. No, we don't do that. Basically, sport entries and qualification is when you actually monitor and track athletes to come into the games. Like, for example, you, Sharon, in order for you to participate in the Commonwealth or to participate in any world championship in squash, there is a need for you to meet a certain rank or to meet a certain minimum standard. So that is what sport entries is all about. What we do is we monitor and we track all the athletes around the world, sometimes the teams as well, because it's not only athletes, but it's also teams. We do a prediction, and we help with these numbers that we get, we help the organizing committee prepare for what is to come, because you have functional areas like transport, like accommodation, like food and beverage, venues. They all need numbers in order for them to plan. And these numbers, it all comes from first, the athlete numbers. Because the athlete numbers are the one that generates the number of officials. Because let's say you qualify 2 athletes from Malaysia and badminton, you can bring 1 official. So that calculation, that's why I love Excel as well. And that's why maybe I was born for this career. These are the calculations that are so important that people don't know, because in everybody behind the screen, you see the athletes participating, but then the people who register them, the people who bring them in, actually it's us, the sport entries and the accreditation, that monitor who actually qualifies. And we communicate with each of the national Olympic committees. We communicate with the international federations. So you can imagine in the Olympic Games, we have 32 sports, then we are monitoring 32 sports. In the Asian Games, if you have 38 sports, then we monitor 38 sports. And 38 sports times how many NOCs, which is the delegations that participate, times by how many athletes that they come, plus the team officials. So there's a lot of numbers going on there. And that's what we do. And I love it because I'm also part of the group normally that prepares the qualification system for the Olympics.
Very interesting, Lineo. You know, it's quite deep for actually former athletes like me. I went to Commonwealth Games, Asian Games and all. We go to Games Village, get our accreditation from, Majlis Olympic Malaysia, Olympic Council of Malaysia, or our association. We go in, get ready for our matches. But we never know what happened behind it. I think your explanation is really, really good for others as well. And we actually appreciate it if we know the processes. And I believe that for big games like Olympics, Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, the teams with different departments actually get ready at the country itself, the host country, for at least 4 or 5 years. And even those who contractors supposed to build the stadium will be ready at least 5, 6 years before the games. And we also want to know, I think just like athletes, right? We travel all around the world. Me, my experience being national number 1 and former world number 18 in the world. I travel a lot all around the world. I'm sure you travel a lot as well, maybe more than 20, 30 countries at once during your career. It's kind of modern gypsy life, I should say that. So can you explain about your life, the good thing that you travel around, hope on, hope off, I should say, and also the disadvantage having this type of modern gypsy life?
Yes, actually, I was counting the number of countries. Actually, I hop from one country to another, but I don't stay for a short time. I stay for a long time. So I've been living in 10 different countries for the past 10 years. So I started with Singapore, and then I went to Austria, Russia, Norway, Buenos Aires, so on. There are some challenges. There's not only travel. You don't go there as a holiday maker. You are there to actually absorb the culture. You are there to absorb the community. You are there to absorb the food, to absorb everything with regards to that country itself. So being a Malaysian, of course, as you know, food is very important to me. So I always bring around with me at least my rice cooker, because I have to eat rice, and I learned how to cook. So food is a challenge, although I do enjoy, especially when I was I think it was in Buenos Aires, I enjoyed the meat so much, but I still miss my fried rice, chicken rice, char kway teow. So one thing is food for me. Second thing is actually the logistics, because whenever you go to a new country, you have to process visa. As an Asian going into other countries, especially Europe, it's not easy. You have to have a sponsor, meaning your company has to apply for the visa for you. So that takes some time. Takes a lot of paperwork as well. And then you also have the logistics of opening a bank account, to find a place to stay. I've been very fortunate to have friends around the world that sometimes have hosted me. So in Buenos Aires, my good friend Laura, she and her mom hosted me for 3 months before I got into my first place. So those are the logistics part. And then I think also with regards to personally, relationships, when I go from one country to another, you always have to make new acquaintances, which means if you go to a new country and you have somebody that you already know in that country, it's very much easier to be able to adapt to the surroundings, because they can bring you around to show you around the different hot spots, where you're going to shop, where are you going to do your banking and all those kind of things. So when I was in Russia, I was very glad that my best friend Ilva was there. Although she was in Moscow, we always talk every day, so she would help me. And talking about Moscow and also other countries, language for us is very difficult because I've not actually stayed in a country except for Singapore where we speak the same lingo. I have not been in a country that spoke English as a first language. I've been to Russia, I've been to Buenos Aires, Spanish, Russian, Norwegian. So that was also a challenge for me, you know.
So very interesting. You went to so many countries. Now I want to challenge you. Besides your Bahasa Melayu and also English, is there any other language that you can speak? How are you? For example, how are you? How do you say?
How are you? Of course.
Yeah.
Como estás? Of course, in Spanish. That's
wow. How about Russian?
Как дела?
Wow.
So I pick up the most important phrases. Okay, so important phrases are like you said, how are you and everything, but also to order food, very important.
Yes, that's a Malaysian thing, kan? Malaysian, we love our food. It's a multiracial country, so it's everything is about food. We live to eat, I think.
Yes.
Not eat to live, we live to eat. But anyway, yes. So very interesting your stories about moving around for the past 10 years and doing work, great work behind the scenes, and you meet a lot of people as well. And we also want to know, because since you move around a lot for your work, does this global health crisis, COVID-19, really impact you quite severely?
Well, actually, yes. I had to cut off my travels to come back because Malaysia is, as you said earlier, is on lockdown. We had the MCO, Movement Control Order, from May 18. I was actually in London at that time.
Actually, from March 18.
Yeah, March 18.
Sorry. Yes.
I was actually at that time in London. I was there for the Boxing Road to Tokyo qualifying events, as we were organizing all the qualifying events for boxing. And I was supposed to go to Buenos Aires to organize the one for the Americas, as we were doing the Europeans in London. And from there to Canada to do some consultation with the Canadian Olympic Committee. And then together with Canada onward to Tokyo for the pre-delegation registration meetings. So when my parents heard and when we were looking at this pandemic getting worse, so my parents said, buy your ticket and come back. So I've been actually stuck at home since the MCO started. How it has affected my work? Well, that part, traveling, of course, you cannot travel anymore, but on the other hand, it has given me an opportunity, has given me and my co-founders of IGNITX an opportunity to concentrate on exposing and spreading the word of IGNITX on social media. We have learned a lot that right now, social media is a very powerful tool to get your messages across and to engage people. So that's what I have been doing. I've been actually spending a lot of time on that.
That of course, this global crisis have never affected us before. The impact is so huge in every industry. Each person, from a kid to an adult, we get impacted in many ways: mentally, emotionally, physically, even financially as well. So we really hope that and pray that Malaysia and the world is healthy and get back to our feet very, very soon. So we have some comments here from some of our good friends. They are sports supporter. I think all of you here, viewers, whether internationally or orang-orang Malaysia, thank you very much for supporting. We have our superstar here, Nora Sila Muhammad Khalid. Great to hear your backgrounds and passion. Thank you, Sila, our former athletic champion. And we have your biggest supporter and partner here, your co-founder, Ilva. Hi, Ilva from Latvia. And we have few more.
Yes, that's my colleague from Singapore Youth Olympic Games.
Aisha, yes. Thank you very much. She says, lucky Neo has so much passion and determination, huh? That huh is so Singaporean and Malaysian. Thanks for making our day. We need some love, of course. So I encourage all of you, because Linio, a dear friend of mine, she actually, very humble, always not at the front, don't want to be in front of the camera or the screen, always at the back, but did a very good job. So please ask her whatever question you want now. Ask her some questions. Let her answer you. If she can't answer, she'll just smile, I think, just like that. So back to our Showcases series, episode 1. Of course, our guest, very big guest today, co-founder of IGNITX. That's why I'm very honored to be your guest host, actually. So our next question, throughout your job, of course, there are ups and downs. There are all jobs, I should say, you take it very responsibility, because I know that you are perfectionist. But what's your most challenging project ever for the past 10 years?
Well, I have to say there was a challenging project and there was a difficult project. So these are two different things. If you saw my picture from the one that Sharon posted in the beginning, it had a group of people, and from Buenos Aires. So that was my team in Buenos Aires. And Buenos Aires was my longest project since in the past 10 years. I was there for 2 years, about 2 years and 2 months. I had a big team to manage, altogether about 33 people. And it was a new thing for me. I've never managed so many people. It was challenging to manage different characters, different personalities. But you know what? Having challenges makes us all a stronger person. And we all actually came together as a team, because in this challenging project, we had a lot of different kind of impacts from different parts of the organizing committee. We worked a lot with systems, and the system, instead of helping us, it was actually making our lives harder. So we had to work on that. So instead, so that was challenging also. So I would say that Buenos Aires 2018 was my biggest challenge, and also my biggest learning curve. And all my team members right now, I'm still in touch with them, and we have bonded so well together, and we are really like a family. One thing about working in many different countries and many different events are the people that you keep close to heart when you go from one event to another. And if you bond with them, then they will be friends with you for life.
Yeah, what a good word of yours. I think very important that in this world right now and forever, actually, we can't work alone. To make a project very, very successful in whatever we do, I think we need good people to be around us as a team. This is what sports actually promotes, unity, teamwork, working together. I think, Linio, for us being an athlete, that gives us big advantage. We know what is it all about: teamwork, about unity, about looking at accept people's differences and try to find solution to work together, whether they are Malaysian or from all over the world. I'm sure you agree with me. I'm sure viewers really agree with me that teamwork is extremely important. And I believe that this is what IGNITX is doing. You from Malaysia, your partners Ilva from Latvia, Xuan Ming from Singapore, Gustavo from Brazil. You see, it's a beautiful, I should say, multi-international partners. And we really salute that for your effort and your partners' effort. So moving on, I'm sure that, you have good memories and not so good memories, but for the past 10 years, I'm sure you're very proud of yourself with what you have done. But what else? What's your bucket list that you want to do much more?
I think what I would like to concentrate on moving forward is to build IGNITX as a company. But IGNITX is not just a company. IGNITX is a community of people that are passionate about the games, that are passionate about sport, passionate about events, and want to make a difference. So I would like to work on this in the near future. Well, not actually now, moving forward, and hopefully also give back to Malaysia, my country, because it has given me a lot. I've been an athlete, so as an athlete in when we are young, Sharon, you know, we are always sponsored by our government, right? So you go to school, it's free. You go to university because of sport. I also didn't need to pay because I got I won some competition, so I get to stay for free in the campus.
Yeah. So we have a friend here, Linio, our friend Daphne Ng, our former national badminton player, a coach now. She asks, following your dreams is usually easier said than done. What's your secret? So Linio, what's your secret?
I think the secret is to stay humble all the time, and we have to adapt. Especially if you want to live a gypsy life, we have to adapt and we have to learn to pivot our lives to suit the environment around us. And we have to always believe in yourself, to be confident. So that's kind of my secret. And of course, always keep your family close.
Yep, totally agree. Support system is very important. You know, when I think back my life as professional squash player, played 20 years for Malaysia, had great teammates like Dick Nicole, Beng Hee, Viwen, Delia, Azlan, and many more. I think when we have each other, no matter how low we go, with great people around us, we'll just come up. That's right, much easier. So this is what we are very thankful for. We'll take one more question here from Ilva, all the way from Latvia. Good morning. How do you feel as Malaysian in Olympic movement? As there are not many Malaysians being involved, I think you are one of the first Malaysian working in sport administration internationally. Your comment?
So, my dearest Ilva, I don't think I'm the only Malaysian that is involved working in sport administration international. I'm one of the few, but not the only one. Okay, I need to clarify that.
So, last question, Linio, my dear friend. Yes. We would like to know, you know, you have done so much behind the scenes. Of course, we are proud of you as Malaysian and world of sports. We would like to know, how do you think you can contribute to the Malaysian sports and event scenes?
Well, like I said before, Malaysia has given me a lot. I'm very proud to be a Malaysian. I would like someday to be able to bring the Olympics to Malaysia, to be part of the team that brings the Olympics to Malaysia, maybe to bring back the Commonwealth Games to Malaysia or even the Asian Games to Malaysia. So to be part of that organizing committee and to organize a successful and memorable games. So that's one. Right now, together with my Malaysian Olympism in Action community team, we are also giving back in terms of the Olympic movement, because we are trying to spread the teachings of Olympism. Olympism is a philosophy of lives where you have excellence, friendship, and respect. So we are organizing some online series to inspire as well, like what you are doing, Sharon, with Charlene. I think right now we need that inspiration in the world, and also working in different environments. It has taught me a lot of the good and the bad, and I hope that I am able to make a difference in the development of the sport management and administration environment in Malaysia.
Fantastic, fantastic. We wish you all the very best, especially me. I wish you all the very best. I've known you since junior. You have worked so hard as an athlete, then as sports administrator at a very young age, and right now as expert in what you do. And thank you very much. Yeah, me and Charlene, we have our show called Nak Sembang Apa Tu. We do it during MCO every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on my Facebook, Sharon Wee, and Charlene Zulkifli's Facebook. Charlene is Malaysian bowling queen and still representing Malaysia for about 30 years. So our aim, just like you, Lineo, to create awareness of the goods of sports, unity, teamwork, as well as, because from our experience of journey in elite athletes, we want to give some good lessons, something to take back for the Malaysian youth as well. Just like you, I'm championing, empowering sports in Malaysia, the youth and women in sports as well. That is why, we are here today, Lineo, me and you. We are talking about the goodness of sports as well, whether in Malaysia or in the world. Mm-hmm. So thanks very much. Wow, time passed so fast, and wow, your golden goal sharing is really good for all of us. Is there any last words to all your fans?
No, I don't have a fan club. I know my friend here, Paula Mora, she says like, oh, I'm your fan club. No, I'm not somebody to have fans. I have friends. But my last words, I think first of all, thank you very much, Sharon. Actually, Sharon is our guest host today on IGNITX Showcases. We are so honored and pleasured to get Sharon to be part of this initiative by IGNITX. We are learning from her as a host in media as well. My last words actually to all Malaysians. I hope you guys stay safe and stay strong. And I would like to say that actually we should be proud to be Malaysian. We should believe in ourselves. Actually, in Malaysia, we have a lot of talent. And in Asia itself, we normally tend to look to the West. We don't need to look to the West right now. We already have a lot of talent in Malaysia. So why don't we look in Malaysia itself? We have Sharon, for example. We have Professor Shamala. So I think we should take inspiration from our locals. I think you should also always follow your dreams. Of course, Ilva told me, follow your dreams is very easy to say. But how do you do it? For those of you who want to be in an event world, please try to network. Networking in the events world is very important, and keep that good relationships. And don't step on people's toe. Okay? So believe in yourself, follow your dreams, keep close, and always, always, always stay humble. Because you always try to lift people up rather than lift yourself. Because when you lift people up, then you yourself will be lifted eventually. I would like to promote our second episode of IGNITX Showcase, which is going to be on May 13, between 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Swiss time, not Malaysian time, sorry. And we will be actually interviewing a very good friend of mine as well. We have worked together for several projects, and I think his story is also very, very inspiring.
Thank you so much, Lineo. Thank you for your sharing. We learn much more about you, and we are very proud of you. And we hope that to hear from you much more, because your journey, the lessons learned, which is something can inspire all of us in Malaysia and the whole world. So thank you very much again, Lineo, and all the very best. So on behalf of Malaysian, again, you are our diamond of Malaysia and world of sports. And again, thank you to the team, staff that work very hard behind the scenes to make big games go on successfully. And we want to thank you, especially those athletes who go for all these events and they are there to perform and they are there feeling comfortable. Everything is coordinated, and we thank people like Lineo to make it happen. So to international viewers, thank you for being with us, and we welcome you to Malaysia. It's a beautiful multiracial country with great food, lots of choices. Like what Linio said, we live to eat. So come to Malaysia. We welcome you. We are friendly people. And to local viewers Malaysian, terima kasih banyak-banyak kerana menyokong kami. Thank you very much. Take care and bye.
Bye-bye. Selamat berpuasa.